Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover. So before we get into these topics, do me a favor. If you do end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. It really does help with YouTube's algorithm. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. The first topic talks about a new PlayStation 5 update that was rolled out, and how it does include a pretty useful feature that some of you, I think, are going to want to know about. So reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, it says, the new PS5 update patch notes have been confirmed for the latest firmware changes. The new PlayStation 5 patch makes significant improvements for those using ALLM-capable displays, with auto low latency mode being a highlighted feature of the new HDMI 2.1 specification. Many new TV owners will be happy to learn that they now have more control over when the PS5 signals to the display that a game is being played, and so this is what the patch notes have to say. If you're using a TV that supports ALLM or auto low latency mode, you can adjust ALLM settings in the settings, then go to screen and video, to video output, and then you can enable ALLM. If you select automatic, your TV will automatically switch to low latency mode when playing games. If you select off, ALLM won't be enabled except during VRR, which is variable refresh rate output, and the system software update obviously improves system performance. So this was definitely a feature that some people have been waiting for, and it's nice to finally have it with the PS5. So at this point, I want you to let me know down in the comments below if this is a feature that you plan to utilize and take advantage of if you are a PlayStation 5 owner. The next topic talks once again about God of War Ragnarok and how after yesterday's announcements, it was trending all across social media in a very big way. And on top of that, we have Cory Barlog talking a little bit more about their decision to announce the release date for November 9th, something that I think you guys might be interested in because, of course, there are some people attempting to, unfortunately, create a negative conversation around this game, which is not surprising. We seem to come across this every time there is a big PlayStation title releasing, but luckily we have Cory Barlog just kind of, making it clear what's going on here. So first, talking about how well the announcements did yesterday, reading from Push Square, it says this week's God of War Ragnarok release date reveal may have ultimately been anticlimactic for some. It amounted to little more than a 30-second CG trailer and an unboxing, but that hasn't stopped it from trending all over social media. The aforementioned videos have attracted over 4 million views combined at the time that they typed up this article, and are showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Meanwhile, on Instagram, the release date has earned over 1 million likes, while on Twitter, it managed 155k likes. Even the Sony Santa Monica Twitter account broke a record with almost 90k people liking its own post on the subject. All combined, this is an outrageous level of engagement for what will clearly be one of the biggest games of the year by a country mile. Perhaps the most exciting thing is that this is merely the beginning of the game's marketing cycle, with the platform holder promising we'll see more in the lead up to the launch. So yeah, I just wanted to make everybody aware of this because I feel like sometimes people talk about the way Sony handles their marketing and their big games. And some people, I think, are not happy with the way that Sony does it, or they feel like they should be doing more. But I do think it is important to look at these statistics because it helps you maybe better understand why Sony approaches this the way they do. I'm not saying that means you should be okay with it, but I feel like, again, having that understanding goes a long way, where you see that Sony is putting out a new 30-second CG trailer, they're announcing the release date, and they're showing an unboxing of the collector's edition. And I think these things are relatively significant, but I definitely did see some people hoping for more, and some people were a little bit upset that it was just a CG trailer, but still, look at these numbers that they're getting. And because the game is coming out in November, there is quite a bit of time left for them to really ramp up the marketing for this, and I think that we're going to see it kind of explode at some point. So yeah, impressive stuff there. But moving on, we're talking about something regarding God of War Ragnarok that is, I think, worth going over here. So, reading from Gaming Bolt, it says, while a November release has reportedly been planned for some time in regards to God of War Ragnarok, the timing may have some people concerned. As G4 TV host Frosk tweeted, I feel like the God of War November release date is because they want to hit that holiday quarter, and maybe not because that's a reasonable launch date. Hope there's no crunch and everything is going according to plan. In response, producer Cory Barlog said, I feel like we thought a lot about what date is best and chose the date that is best for the team, the game, and the fans. While this isn't an outright denial of the current date capitalizing on the lucrative holiday season, Sony has been vocal in the past about prioritizing the health of the team. Following the first delay, PlayStation Studios head Herman Holst said the publisher wouldn't compromise the quality of our titles or the health or the well-being of our amazing team. So I have to say that I am glad Cory Barlog replied to this the way he did, because in my opinion, he's making it very clear that this is not a date that they just chose at random. It's not a date they chose just specifically because, oh, it's the holiday release, right? It's something that they did put a lot of thought into, and I feel like that should be kind of obvious. I mean, when you consider how quiet they've been with this game for so long, it's clear that they've been working hard and just doing what they have to do to get the game where it needs to be. I don't think that they just choose a date like November when the game is nowhere near being finished or in some kind of unreleasable state and just simply say, well, we'll do it. On top of that, I mean, you also have to take into account that this is something that Sony has acknowledged multiple times, as the article points out, where Sony is anti-crunch, right? Like, they do care about prioritizing the health of their teams. But I also think we have to be realistic here and understand that when it comes to any video game, especially big AAA games, when they are in the final stages, things just naturally become a little bit more intense. That doesn't mean that there's going to be some kind of insanely toxic, detrimental, crunch environment. Right? It just means that people have to be a little bit more on point. They have to be working a little bit harder to make sure that everything is coming together. This is just part of the process. And I feel like anybody who is a creative, who has worked hard on something, will tell you that that's just kind of how these things work, right? And so that's why Cory isn't going to sit here and say that, no, we're not crunching at all. We're not doing any of that at all. He's not going to say that because it's probably not true, right? Like, there's going to be a lot of hard work and effort being put into this game to make sure that they can, make it the best it can absolutely be by the time it launches. But I just think it's a little bit frustrating and annoying sometimes that, this is a time when I think people should be happy, fans should be celebrating, and we should be excited. We finally have the release date, right? We got a new trailer, we got the collector's edition unboxing. I mean, I feel like the biggest thing that we should probably be annoyed about at this moment in time is maybe the fact that the collector's edition doesn't come with a physical copy, probably due to the fact that, they have to take into account the digital PlayStation 5 that exists, but still, like, I've seen people complaining about that, and I think that's a totally valid complaint, something that I think is worth bringing up, and, it is disappointing. But something like this, where it's like, we're just going to suddenly start talking about crunch and God of War, and we're going to put these two things together, even though it's like, we're finally getting some good news about this game, but people have to come out with their, I don't want to say fake concern, because, I'm not going to claim it's fake, but I would say just completely unnecessary concern. So that's why I'm glad to see that Cory responded to this and just made it clear that, look, this is the best date for them. I have no doubt in my mind that if God of War needs more time and they want to avoid like some type of insanely toxic crunch environment, they will delay the game. Sony's proven they will do this. So, yeah, I think they chose this date because they're confident they can hit it. We're moving on to the next topic, though, which is some very good news regarding Horizon Forbidden West. This is reading from PlayStation Universe, where it says Horizon Forbidden West's latest patch 1.17 brings a few big features for players with the equipment to take advantage of them. Those being support for variable refresh rate monitors and a 120Hz mode. The game also includes what Guerrilla is calling a new balanced graphics mode, which has the game running at 40Hz while likely keeping some of the more intense graphic settings turned on. So It continues by saying here that there's also plenty of bug fixes and quest issues that have been fixed, and Guerrilla notes that it is still looking into many of the community reported issues it's receiving. Regarding new graphics modes, it should be clear that they don't exactly mean the game will run at those higher frame rates in the case of a 120Hz mode, only that it can run up to those frame rates with that mode turned on. According to the patch notes, the target refresh rate for the VRR mode and the high frame rate mode, or 120Hz mode, is between 60Hz and 120Hz. And so, yeah, this is a pretty significant update that Guerrilla is bringing to Horizon Forbidden West. I saw a lot of people talking about this when it was announced that they were working on it, claiming that they can't wait to experience it and try it out. And I mean, you know, when you consider just how far this game has come since it launched in terms of the improvements they made to the performance mode, and now they're adding these new features, it's awesome. And so let me know down in the comments below if you plan to go back to Horizon Forbidden West to give this a try. But moving on, we're talking about Forspoken. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you view it, it has been delayed once again, and they posted an update on their official Twitter account where they say, as a result of ongoing discussions with key partners, obviously that being Sony, we have made the strategic decision to move the launch date of Forspoken to January 24th, 2023. All game elements are now complete, and development is in its final polishing phase. We would like to thank you for your continued support and patience on this journey. Your excitement for the game inspires us every day, and we cannot wait to share more about Forspoken with you later this summer. So there's a few important things to note here. First of all, a new release date for Forspoken, January 24th, 2023. I think that this is actually really good. I think it's obvious that this game just had to get out of the way of not only God of War Ragnarok, but many of the other AAA titles that are launching in October and November as well. Forspoken is a new IP, and I don't know that it has the most amount of buzz around it. So I think that kind of pushing it to a time like January, I think that's a perfect time for a game like Forspoken to release, honestly. So I'm actually really glad to see this. They also say that the game is in its final stages and they're polishing, so it sounds like they're going to have a lot of time to really just kind of polish this game up and get it to where it needs to be. And then finally, at the bottom here, they say that they're planning to share more of the game later this summer. So, you know, maybe that'll just be some new trailers. Maybe they'll be at a PlayStation event if Sony does one later this summer. But nonetheless, I wanted to report on this and let you guys know that Forspoken is moving from October to January, and I think it's going to work out better for the game, the fact that they chose to do this. But we're moving on to the final topic, which talks about Valkyrie Elysium. So this is reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, where they say Valkyrie Elysium finally has a PS5 and PS4 release date for the end of September 2022, but those who can't wait that long can pre-order the digital deluxe edition that offers 3 days of early access. At the same time, a digital port of the PSP game Valkyrie Profile Lenneth will also be released, potentially into PlayStation Plus Premium 2. Valkyrie Elysium will be released on PS5 and PS4 on September 29th, 2022, and will come in two versions: a standard edition available digitally and at retail, and a digital deluxe edition. Those who purchase the title through the PlayStation Store will receive both the PS5 and PS4 versions of the game. If purchasing the PS4 version at retail, players can upgrade to the PS5 version at no extra cost, but must put their disc into the console every time they wish to play the PS5 version. So yeah, I wanted to update you guys on this because I think this is a game that some people are definitely looking forward to. I think it is going to release on PC, but I think it's releasing a little bit later, either in October or November. It doesn't actually say here, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But there you go. If this is another Square Enix title you're looking forward to, it now has a release date for September 29th. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, be sure to leave it a like. Leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.